Right, we're live. How exciting. We're live on a few platforms. Hello, folks. Welcome. Thank you for joining so early. Hello, Lubna. Lovely to see you. And Malika as well. Great to have you here. Just waiting for Rayanna to join the room. Hello, Rayanna. Hello. Happy New Year. Our first live of the year. Can you believe it's 2022? Oh my goodness me. And 2022 is set to be, I believe, a really, really good year. I think I've got a hopeful optimism about 2022. What about you, Rayanna? Have you?
It's going to be an amazing year, an absolutely amazing year.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Well, it's great to have so many of you here already with us. We've got a corker of a session today, following on from the goal setting session that I did, which happened to be a standout, and I'm talking like smashing, incredible. Rayanna, if you wouldn't mind muting Marie-Laurence, that would be great. Thank you so much. It was an absolutely fantastic goal setting session that we did. It was quite ad hoc. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be as huge as it was. And I think that there's something about goal setting at the new year that's really special, but maintaining it is really, really difficult. So let's just start by way of introduction. Flash your mics if you have set some goals for this year and you'd like to share what some of those goals are. I'd love to hear it from you. Malika, I've not heard from you for a while. It's great to have you here. Have you got a goal for this year, Malika?
Hello everyone. Hi Luciana. Nice to see you again. It was a very long day today for me today, but it was very nice. I'm glad you have this room today. So for this year, I set new goals that I would really like to break through myself. I've been hesitating for so long, and it's time for me to start now. So I'm starting now to giving to spread the awareness for a new student to start their own research in science, and I can supervise them if they like. Anyone wanted to work in the medical field in laboratory, he can approach me, and I will be so much glad to help them. Yeah, it's all work, nothing personal, really.
I love that, Malika. I love that you have gone from being the PhD student to working your way through it and now moving into a supervisory role, and just how that feeds, how the food chain of knowledge feeds somebody else. So that's incredible. If anybody knows of anybody who's looking into developing their research process in science fields, please do get in touch with Malika. It's a fantastic opportunity. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. Rayanna, what about you? Have you got a goal? I'm going to pick on you. I'm going to pick on you every time.
I know you do this. And yeah, so I do have goals, big goals, but it's funny how until I feel like I've got the stepping stones in place to know how to get there, I don't feel confident enough to share them. And I know that will make total sense to you, and you'll understand all the reasons why, and I'm here oblivious. But yeah, until I know the stepping stones of how to get to them, I feel like pie in the sky. So yeah, there's things like I want to own 3 properties, 3 buy-to-let properties by the end of the year. And then I have more simple goals, like I would like my office space refurnished by the end of the year. So yeah, I have all sorts of goals, ranging from the more day-to-day goals to the big dreaming goals. But yeah, until I know the stepping stones to success to get my office refurnished, but until I have real clarity in my mind of how to get those 3 properties under my belt, I am nervous to say them out loud. So yeah, I've said it out loud.
That's it now. The Clubhouse universe and the LinkedIn Live universe knows about your goal, which is fantastic. And you're not alone, Rayanna. There are so many of us who set goals, and this is one of the principal reasons why goal setting fails so often, is because it's not grounded in the how. And there's a lot of people that I work with that talk about letting go of the how, and I completely disagree with that. I think that a lot of proactivity needs to happen front end to understand how you believe you are going to achieve the goal, because it needs to be founded in belief. There needs to be a belief that you can achieve the goals that you're setting. And when I say that there's an art form in goal setting, I really mean it, because you can have, well, you do really need to have a huge goal. You need to have one goal in your life that you are never really going to achieve, but that you are going to make some progress towards working towards. And I'm so passionate about this. You can probably hear it in my voice, tripping over my words a little bit, because this big goal, this vision that you have for a better future, for a better humanity, for a better way of doing things, this is really deeply ingrained in me. It's a big part of my value set. And so when I look at goals, I have this big vision that I know I won't achieve in my lifetime. But as Jordan Peterson said in Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett this week, we as human beings need purpose. And therefore, we need to strive to a big goal. He said, and I love this quote, human beings are designed to walk uphill. We are designed to strive, to improve. Parts of our human population don't want to improve, but many parts of us do. And that's why we see the world changing so rapidly. Every single decade, we see a massive difference in how society has evolved. Sometimes for the better, sometimes not. That depends on your viewpoint. But we are always striving to improve or to achieve. And therefore, my point is, and you might want to write this down, if you don't have a huge goal, a huge vision for your life, that's where we need to start when it comes to our planning. And I'm going to break this all down for us in this hour. I'm going to be speaking to people who are in the membership, and it's great to see so many of you here from the collective. It's just so wonderful to have you sharing this experience with us. I'd like to hear from you. I'd like you to showcase your businesses, but I'd also like to provide education to people who don't normally get to spend time with me doing this kind of stuff. So the first thing is having this huge goal, this vision that you are probably not going to achieve in your lifetime. And that anchors you in a purpose. And then I would argue, really all you need is a yearly goal, an idea of where you're heading, and an idea of how to break that down into your year. So your goals then become micro and macro, and you need micro and macro goals. And in the membership, each week when we set our priorities for the week, and really, if we're going to be really pedantic about this, a priority, there should only be one each week. There should be one thing. So there should be one of those that's a priority, and your other two goals are things that you're working towards, that you want to achieve. But when we're setting that priority, one of them needs to aim for your big goal for the year, and the others need to be supportive of your general vision and progress. So everything has a purpose. And that's the first thing that I would like to come to in today's session, is that when you are planning, you need to know why you are planning. And the question that you need to ask yourself, write this down, I highly recommend that you do, is what is the impact? What will the impact be if you do not do these things? If you do not stick to the plan? What is the impact also if you are too focused on the plan and you miss opportunities on either side of it? These are all things that we need to be thinking about today. And in today's session, we are recording live. We are on LinkedIn Live. We are on YouTube, and we are here in the Collective of Extraordinary Women in Clubhouse. So when you're sharing today, this is going out onto other platforms as well. So you need to be aware of that. Right, we've got a few of the members here. Welcome to you. If you could just unmic and introduce yourself, tell us very briefly what it is that you do, and what it is that you have learnt about planning and goal setting since you've been in the membership. That would be great. Julie, are you there? Flash your mic if you're there. Yeah, you are. Lovely. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
Right.
I'm Julie. I am a business mentor, and basically my background is in finance. So a lot of my mentoring assistance to small businesses is around helping people become a bit more happy with numbers. So I take the fear out of finance. So it's helping people understand their financial strategy, where they're going, what their business are doing. And so my big hairy ass goal this year is I'm actually putting together my kind of mentoring program, because a lot of my work has been very bespoke, one-to-one. So I don't have a generic program, but I'm actually sort of like, digging deep and working out what my toolbox is this year. And I'm really in the middle of working out what my toolbox is and what my outputs and what I can do for people. And then I'm kind of looking at different programs for different people in different industries as well, because there'll be some specific things for different types of businesses. So my plan for this year is actually more action taking, and Lucien's really helped me in the accountability on a week-on-week basis, that I actually have to take action. So I'm really much of a, I think about things. Like this morning I was writing down all the books I need to read, and that's always been a list of things I need to read, but actually going like, well, when am I going to read these books and how am I going to measure it? And so that's lots of actions against my my goal setting this year.
I love that, Julie. Thank you for sharing that. And the action taking is key. So this is where I lock horns with others, perhaps other mindset coaches in the field, because I believe that the human being needs more certainty. It needs more clarity in order to be less anxious. And I sent an email today to my list about worry, and I do a lot of scientific research into this. I've got a lot of peers and friends who are in the realm of studying this stuff inside out and sharing that knowledge with me, and I've always had this interest. And when it comes to women and anxiety and women and worry, there are some startling statistics around the impact of worry for women. And it is my core belief, and this is why specialists in certain areas are so important. And one of the things that I can really bring to working with women specifically is knowing about this stuff, because there are things that women need, men need it too. However, women need to have clarity about purpose and about why things are happening in the way that they're happening, which is why the how really does alleviate a lot of the stress and anxiety. And what's really important to know, and again, I would make a note on this for those of you who are listening, who are intently developing yourselves, when you have a plan, you know when you're not sticking to the plan and when the plan isn't serving you anymore. It gives you a foundation, not that you need to be absolutely rigid with, and by hook or by crook, if you don't do it, you're going to fail. You need to have something that you're looking at, that you're evaluating, that you are getting a bird's eye perspective on and going, is this working or isn't it? Because if you don't have a plan in place, how can you possibly know if it's working or not? Our memories as human beings are shocking. They are terrible. We go on emotion. And so if we're building businesses based on emotion, well, that's really nice, but it's not effective in principle. We need to know what the foundations are, and the foundations come from the plans. Just flash your mics, folks. If you've ever had to change plans and you've had to take a different course of action, of course, right? Everybody, because we are human beings. So to say that you plan and then you stick to it and then you never change the plan is completely anxiety provoking and inducing. It simply gives you a foundation, a map, so that you can begin to analyze, right, if I take this route, this is the direction that I appear to be going in, this is the outcome that I appear to be gaining on. However, if I take this route, this seems to be happening. You need to constantly be evaluating. So welcome, Julie. It's lovely to see you. Holly, I don't know if you're working or if you're available, so just flash your mic if you are available. If not, I will move on. Yeah, Happy New Year, Holly. Have you got any great plans, goals for this year?
Hello. Yes, Happy New Year to you all. Lovely to hear you. Yeah, going through this with everyone. So my goal is to get clear on my purpose and passion, and to have a plan in place as well for setting up a a little side hustle. So it's quite a big one for me. I've been trying to work on it for quite a bit, but I'm starting to get more clearer on what it is I want to do, like fully in the future for myself. So that's my one big goal for this year.
That gets me so excited. I love it so much, the side hustle, which, Holly, knowing you and the self-development that you do, then becomes something that you really anchor yourself into and becomes your new life. Are you excited by your goal, or does it cause anxiety?
Both. Definitely excited. 100% excited. There's just that nervousness around, like what is it? How am I going to find it, and what am I going to actually do with that then? And it's all about taking action, actually, which, like you mentioned, and it's just making sure I do take the action to find out the clarity that I need, and keep taking action and going forward with it. And like anything, I can do anything I want to, right? Everyone can. So it's just taking action to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's come out in what Julie was saying and in what you're saying. It is about taking action. And as human beings, quite often taking action means stepping outside of the comfort zone, which is not natural to us at all as human beings. Thank you so much, Holly, for sharing. What do you think is I'm gonna ask you a little snidey side question. What do you think might hold you back from taking action, do you think?
Myself, just like self-doubt and could I really do it? It's the limiting beliefs that then come into play. So that's what I really need to work on, is my confidence and having more confidence in myself and that I can do this. I do realise it's just myself that will be in my own way.
Yeah, I love that, Holly. Really amazing reflections. That self-doubt, limiting beliefs, and you're not alone, Holly. Everyone, me, some of my most prolific clients, they all feel this. They really do. So, Holly, thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anything else you wanted to say before I move on?
No, just thank you very much for all the support that you give at Lucy, and especially your goal setting session the other week. I found that to be really, really, really helpful, which is why I've got the one-click goal. And again, I would say that the self-coaching handbook definitely helps me with taking action. So thank you very much for bringing that into my life.
Thanks, Holly. I'll pay you later. Cheers, chick, for that. Holly, you are probably my biggest fan of the self-coaching handbook, which I just love because it is the difference. The people that I like working with are the people who take action, or the people who have not been taking action, who really want to take action but want to take the block aside, want to move that aside. So thank you, Holly. Yeah, the goal setting session was spectacular. We absolutely loved it, and thank you for being there and being part of that. This will very much build on that, and I'm going to do that each year as an event. That's going to be a big event that I do every single year because it was so wonderful. The light bulb moments that people had that they messaged me about, it just really gave me purpose in what I was doing, which was great. So thank you for recognizing that, Holly. Suad, I saw you flashing, my love, another member of the collective of extraordinary women. Have you got plans and goals in place?
Hi, Lucian. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're back. We missed you last week. So yes, I do. And you know me, like I have been so hesitant in having a goal written because I've always been one of those people who will have their goals in their head. Majority of it, I do achieve it, but not all of it. And then this is the first year ever where I've sat down and I actually wrote all my goals. And I have one big goal, and that one big goal is a financial goal. A lot of people are scared of making a financial goal, but I was so bold and I said, I know there's a figure that I want to achieve, and in order to achieve that, I need to get 4 big contracts. And I wrote that down, and I know the figure. I wrote the figure down. So yes, I'm ready, and it's all in plan. I've already started working on it. So yeah, thank you so much for the support. And I think your goal setting session last week week before was amazing because that gave me the clarity on how am I going to achieve it, the steps And I like the bit that backwards working, and I've already done that. So thank you so much, Lucienne. And yeah, I'm ready to achieve it.
As ever.
2022.
As ever, Suad, you are so welcome. Suad, such a phenomenal client of mine, and you all are. Those of you who are here, who work with me in different ways. Some of you in the collective, some of you as one-to-one clients, some of you as retreat members. And I think it's really important for me to share with you just how special it is when I hear people that I've been working with talk about their big goals in a way that is so impassioned and empowered that it lights me up. This work does not feel like work because it has true purpose for me. And that's what I want for the people that work with me, or anyone that lives. I want them to be able to tap into that. So without further ado, I'm going to head to Rihanna, who's going to do a quick reset of the room. I'm going to be giving some learning and some education, so you can grab a pen and a piece of paper. We'll be taking questions, and anytime you want to get involved, please do flash the mic. Rihanna and I have got our eyes on the screen. We can have a look at who's getting involved. And if you're watching on any of the social channels, not on Instagram, because Instagram, we believe it's some kind of bot or algorithm, has banned me from going live. Which is really frustrating. I've left Facebook. I left Facebook 2 years ago and never looked back, and I'm not shy of leaving Instagram either if it means that it's going to cause me this much hassle. So Instagram, if you're listening, which you might be, sort it out, please. And on that note, Rihanna, would you like to do the room reset?
Yes, I would love to. So you are in the CEW Club, which stands for the Collective of Extraordinary Women, being brought to you by Master Accredited Female Empowerment Specialist Coach Lucienne Shakir, and me, the Community Empowerment Manager, Rihanna Wright. This room is being recorded, so as well as being live in Clubhouse, the room is live streamed to LinkedIn. You can find us here every Wednesday from 1 p.m. till 2 p.m, and you can make sure you never miss the room by giving the club a follow, simply by clicking on the little greenhouse next to the room title. You can keep up to date with what's going on in the collective on Facebook and Instagram by searching at the c.e.w. Plus, you can follow Lucienne across social media platforms such as Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Facebook by searching at Lucienne Coaching, or by subscribing to her podcast, That's What She Said. At the top of the room, you will find the strategy quiz and support guide that helps you to deep dive into finding out what's stopping you from growing a business you love, along with actionable steps that are tailored to your needs. We're a female empowerment driven club, and we love to welcome new voices up to the stage, but we can only invite you up if you have a profile picture, something in your bio, and an active link to your Instagram or Twitter account. We also love to welcome our male allies onto stage, and we respectfully request that any shares are in support of the women you hear speaking on stage, and that you keep your shares to a short 30 seconds. When you're invited up to stage, your mic is automatically open, so please make sure you click to mute straight off the bat until it's your turn to speak, so that the conversation can continue to flow. Okay, that's the room reset complete. Back over to you, Lucienne.
Such a pro. You've been working on that, haven't you, over the holidays?
No, I think I'm just fresh for the new year.
Oh, such a pro. I love it. We've got some brilliant people in the room. We've got Elaine, who is just spectacular. She's a phenomenal human being. Welcome, Elaine. It's lovely to see you here. Mary, we've got Malika, we've got Michelle, we've got Lubna, and Marie-Laurence as well. Marie-Laurence, have you got any goals or plans that you would like to share? Flash if you're able to speak. Hello.
Hello. So I was thinking, actually, Happy New Year to all of you. And my plan is to continue what I was doing last year. And for me, a new year doesn't mean a new plan. That's for me. But it's continuing what I was implementing last year. So yes, I can share it with you. But so it's losing my weight. So yes or yes, I've decided that. I mean, I want to do it. I really, really want to do it, and I will do it. It's my nursery school having a waiting list, and it's on
on the way for that, and also developing more and more my nanny agency, my staff agency, and my academy, Nanny Academy. And I'm super excited to join Lucienne and the team to the extraordinary woman. So yes, because why do I need that? It's because I really feel by myself, being my own boss, and it's super nice to have a mastermind classes where we can share what we're going through, and it's really like it's contagious, it's like the energy when we all go together in the same passion. And so these are my goals, so to continue and doing better and better, and helping more and more people. This is it.
Love it. What a great set of goals. And Marie-Laurence is an absolutely phenomenal human being. I've known her for some time now, and I'm privileged to call her a client because she has an outstanding business, which is very prestigious, and works with bringing nannies in and matching them with families, and the importance of childcare and that relationship between the nannies and the children. And the nursery that you have in Kensington is absolutely outstanding as well. So we welcome you, and we're very happy to have you here too. Wonderful stuff. Okay, right, you ready? Flash your mics if you're ready to take some notes and to start thinking about what's going on. And if you would like to share, please do flash at any time. Rihanna and I will have our eagle eyes on the screen. And if you're in the audience and you'd like to come up, please do raise your hand. We need to have you connected to social links so that we can check you out before we actually bring you up to speak. So you've got to know why you are setting a goal, and you've got to have a goal in order to be able to plan. So you have to know why the goal is in situ, and you have to know why you are planning it. Because if you do not know the why, there is no human anchor to keep you accountable to it. And there is no understanding of loss when you don't achieve it. There is no emotional attachment, and this is where we need emotional attachment. So the plan in its own right can only be put in place once you have a goal in situ. And if you did the goal setting masterclass with me, then you will be emerging with a goal. You might already have one. So I can tell you that our goal in the membership, it's been running for a couple of years. We tested it as a beta group for a year. I am very quality driven. I have to make sure that what I do is really valuable to my clients. It makes complete business sense to have quality over quantity. And I have set a goal for 100 members by the end of this year. Now, for some people, that sounds really low. For some people, that sounds really high. I don't care what it sounds like. It's my goal, and that's what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on that deep realization of what you need in order to attach yourself to the bigger vision that you've got. I know, because I'm not a greedy person, if I bring in 100 members into the membership that we have, that I can pay the salaries of the employees that I have, that I can continue to grow the membership, and I'm not paying for the membership out of my own pocket. It becomes a social enterprise that's really important to me, and that's anchored in my purpose. Can you hear how clear the goal is? 100 members by the end of 2022. Flash your mics if you understand my goal. Yeah. Okay. So that's the kind of clarity that I would love for you to have in your goal. So like I say, we've got a big vision. My big vision is empowering 1 million women in my lifetime. And we've worked out how we're going to track that and monitor it to start running and grow their businesses. But my goal has to link into that for 2022, and it needs to be super measurable and easy to define. So flash your mics if you know 100% that your goal, the one goal that you're working towards, is really clear to you? Okay, brilliant. Because that's what you have to have that. This is where I see so many people going wrong. And trust me, I've worked with a lot of people on this. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. You think, well, I'm missing out on this, that, and the other if I don't do it. And if you're in the goal setting masterclass, you'll know that if you have that one big goal, my 100 members, if I achieve that, the other goals will actually follow. Other successes will happen. So flash your mics if you are committed to having just one goal, just one tangible goal at the end of 2022. Brilliant. So you can waste some time if you want to and be like, oh no, well, I need to do this and I need to do that. That's fine. You can struggle for a few years before you actually listen to the advice. But I'm telling you now that one goal is what you need. And then what you need to do is you need to work backwards. And this is, again, it's just so simple when you think about it. But if you're not working backwards, you're not aware of the time that's needed. You haven't got check-in points. If you're just mapping forwards, you're calculating a route to a destination without knowing the bumps in the road, without knowing where you're going to need extra energy, where you're going to be struggling. So my goal, 100 members by the end of December 2022, I've broken that back monthly, divided it into quarters, and I know exactly how I am aiming for that goal. Flash your mics if you know exactly how you are aiming for your goal. Okay. So you now need, those of you who are listening, you now need to put a plan in place. You do not put a plan in place for your year until you've got your big vision, until you've got your goal for 2022, and until you have worked backwards knowing what bumps there are in the road between now and when you aim to achieve your goal. So my bumps in the road are, I have a month off in August. I have mastermind days that I need to plan for. I have a son. I have a lot of things that I need to do. Even though I wasn't going to do any more corporate work, there is one organization that really would like to work with me. So I am going to do that because I truly believe that they are going to make progress that I would like them to make. So there are bumps in the road. There are energy drainers. So I would like you to look at your calendar right now and write down, where are the hurdles for the year? And this is the foundation of your plan. Have you got big birthdays coming up? Have you got travel plans? Have you got people that you've said that you will see? That stuff needs to go in first because it's happening by hook or by crook. Your holiday that you've planned with your family is happening, COVID permitting. Oh dear, that might be quite a sore point for a few people, but it is happening. That birthday is happening. So you need to plan it in. A great exercise that you can do actually is have a little think about all the things that happened throughout December and write down the tasks that you found yourself doing and plan them in for next December. And only once you've done this can you start going forwards. So map backwards first. How much time have you actually got once you've got those big events in place? How much time have you got to commit to your goal? Flash your mics if you know categorically how many hours you have to commit to your goal. Okay. Because I can tell you from working with the women that I work with, always, this isn't accurate. This is not accurate. This has not been scheduled in. So this is my first, once you've got your goal, once you've got your big vision, this is my first planning part, is you need to know how much time you've got. How much time have you got? ? Write that question down. Because you can now layer on from the group coaching session that I did on goal setting, and you can begin to plan knowing how much time you've got. So any observations so far? Anybody want to flash their mics and get involved so far? If you do, flash. If not, I'll carry on. Okay, awesome. Oh, Michelle, coming to you, my love.
Oh, good afternoon, Lucianne, and first of all, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
My big, which I think you know, my big external thing that is controlling my life, which I'm trying massively not to allow it to control, is divorce and when that might be finished. So I am trying really hard to put steps in place to meet my big, fat, audacious goal. I did have goals, but I will break that down to one now after what you've just said. But I am slightly constricted and restricted by that. Do you have any tips of how I can mentally and emotionally manage that, please?
Yeah, brilliant question. Very, very insightful question. So the first thing that I would ask if I were your coach, Michelle, is a question that can help you gain perspective, which is, what can you control? So although you might not be able to control when the divorce goes through, how that happens, etc., it's a bit like the how much time have you got question. If I ask you, what can you control? Just talk me through what goes through your emotional being as I ask that question. Is there a sense of, yeah, I can figure out what I can control and what I can't control, or is it completely bewildering when I ask it?
Okay, so if you'd have asked me that before Christmas, completely bewildering and anxiety driven.
Mm-hmm.
Now, however, I've got it in my head that what will be because it's out of my control.
Yeah.
However, it's still lingering. So I'm trying to focus on the element. The only bit I do have control over is responding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that would do it.
Yeah, okay, excellent. So my advice to you would be is that I can't give you the advice. I can't tell you what you need to do, but what I can do, the advice that I can give, is that by asking you a number of questions, you can begin to answer them for yourself, and you can begin to set your mind form into a place that is constructive for you, because the anxiety and the worry that you're experiencing is completely unnecessary. And that sounds horrendous, doesn't it? Because it's such an emotional thing, and it's so we've got a hot mic, folks. There we go, thank you. It's such a difficult thing to deal with emotionally. I've been through divorce. I'm sure there's other people here who've been through the same, and there is so much of it that you can't control. But worrying about the stuff that you can't control takes your energy away from the things that you can. So if you focus for a moment on everything in your life where you have some control, i.e., how you approach each day, what your routine is, what you're focused on, what your one goal is. If you're divorced or not, I don't want to ask you too many personal questions, but if you do divorce, does that make a huge difference to you financially, or are you already living financially separate lives, Michelle?
You are completely spot on. No, it's not going to make too much difference. Yeah, I have to be careful because you're live on other platforms, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to make any difference.
Okay.
So it's just the element of control, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what actual difference does it make if you're divorced? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Right, I'm just going to... Go on.
It's a finality, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an emotional thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll move on because I don't want this all to be about
me.
me,
That's absolutely fine.
I appreciate what you've said, and I've written down what can I control. And for me, actually, I think I need to do a little bit of brainstorming around that. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, what can you control is the question that I would ask. And the other question that I would ask, because this isn't about strategy, this isn't about how much time you've got, this isn't about planning towards your big goal or finances getting in the way of you actually achieving them. This is all emotional stuff that's attached to love, that's attached to years of, you know, being together with somebody. That is it's a human experience which we all understand, and it's very cold and very inconsiderate to say you need to detach from that. You need to work through it. So what you need to discover is what emotions are happening for you, how you need to work through it, and what you can control. And what I would say to you, and I won't use your name in full because of the recording element of it, but I really wanted to say your name because I really want to connect with you in a way that really gets the energy here. You are going to go through this change no matter what the stamp on the piece of paper says or doesn't say. You're going through this change. You've made this decision and it's the right decision for you. I know your backstory. This is what I believe. If I were your friend, this is what I would be saying. And so you need to allow yourself to feel the emotions. If you try and bury your emotion and you try and carry on as normal without giving due time to how you feel, that emotion is going to continue for a lot longer than it would if you actually deal with it. So my advice to you would be to work with a therapist, to work with somebody who is completely objective to your domestic situation, where you can talk through it, you can cry, you can go through the anger, you can express all of the deep and complex issues that we go through when we're doing this, before you begin to berate yourself for not making enough progress. Just flash your mic if that makes sense, Michelle. Michelle, are you there? I think maybe. Yeah. Okay. You're a brilliant human being and we love you lots, Michelle. Okay, so when we've got these things going on emotionally, and this is a really good point actually, when we've got these things going on emotionally, we need to take the time to feel what we feel. Rayanna and I have a saying, don't we, Rayanna? What is it?
Feel all the feels.
Feel all the feels. And this is where I see who's that?
And this is me, Malika. I would like to add something if it's okay.
Of course it is.
I just wanted to say that in the middle of my PhD journey, I was really struggling to finish it up. Although I have everything clear in front of me, but then I never been through the experience of coaching, and I was so lucky to have Luciana as my coach. And what I found out is just confronting or just facing this fear, and someone sit in front of me and tell me, you can't do this. It's because 1, 2, 3 what stop you, that you are not taking the action to finish the last step and just wrap up this stage and go to the next stage. So it's very important to sit in front of someone who really have the awareness and the experience of this struggle, and probably they have been through this before, and it really benefits me. I was struggling through my PhD to finish because in the last stage when the COVID hit, I was studying in the UK, and it was very difficult for me because I was so much isolated, far away from my family. Isolated from my friends, and I was sitting in working from home, and it was very difficult. With this one-to-one coaching session, it just bring me from the deep thinking that I'm doing okay, and to know you are not doing okay. You need to do 1, 2, 3 and move on.
Thank you.
Yeah, really important is facing that emotion and not just continuing to plow on because it comes up somewhere else. It's like when you push down, what is it? Is it the mole? And you push it down and it comes up somewhere else. That is what happens with emotion. We store it in the body. So working on it. And I love the question. Thank you for the question. And I hope we haven't dived too deep to make anyone feel uncomfortable. But that's what real life is about, right? It's about having uncomfortable conversations because we're adults. So if we're going to come back to planning, I'll just talk you through the stages again. We need to have the goal, the big vision. We need to have the goal for the year. And then we need to plan backwards from when we expect to achieve the goal and understand where the hurdles are. So where that 50th birthday is, or where the trip to so and such is, and where the things that are non-negotiables lie. Then you need to understand how much time have you actually got? How much time can you realistically commit to achieving this goal? And then you can start planning forwards. This is the point where it gets really, really interesting, because what I see very often at the beginning of the year, and I used to see this in corporate organizations all the time, they'd bring someone new in and there'd be a big goal setting session, a big strategy session, and they would devise this whole new plan and they'd set it all up in new templates, and it would fall apart after the first month because it was all new. And if you're watching on LinkedIn or on YouTube, you'll see the slide that's up that talks about the brain and goals. And it's the same with anything. It's not just goals, but with planning as well. If the process is new, you are creating more problems for yourself than you've already got. So a coaching question that you need to ask yourself, and you need to go away today and look at this question in real detail, is what do you already do that works? What planning strategies do you already have that work? And this is where you need to double down. So instead of biting off a whole load of things that are new for you to chew and to process that, remember, the brain does not like newness. It doesn't want to have to consume more calories than it needs to. It will fight against it and you will revert back unless you are really strategic with your habit setting. Asking yourself, what already works? Where have you completed? Malika was just talking about having accountability. The step 1, 2, 3, having someone to talk about it with and then being held accountable. That worked. What works for you? It might be spending a Sunday afternoon planning every single week. It might be that you use Asana. It might be that you use your calendar. It might be that you have an accountability partner. But ask yourself the question, what has worked already? And I want you to double down on it. Really deepen your use of that thing that works. And this is so powerful. And often the most simple things are the most powerful. So if you know that you are highly productive on a Monday morning or on a Wednesday morning, you are going to plan in 2 hours to working towards your big goal for 2022. If that has worked for you before, you're going to double down on it. So you're going to do it twice during the week. What has worked in 2021, I want you to double down on it when it comes to your planning. Flash your mics if you're with me and you're like, yes, I know what has worked. Mary knows, Holly knows, Suad knows, Malika knows. Okay, I want you to figure out, if you don't know what has worked. Very often accountability really, really helps. So that's the next question that you need to answer. So first you need a big vision for the purpose. You need a goal for the end of the year. You need to then map backwards all of the things that are coming up that could be potential sticking points that are non-negotiables. You need to figure out how much time you've actually got. And then you need to work out how you are going to dedicate time to this thing by planning to do stuff that has already worked for you when it comes to task completion. So flash your mics if you're with me so far. Okay, excellent stuff. Awesome. And also, if you want a flash to get involved, I'll just hover over the screen. Okay, I'm going to keep looking at the screen just to make sure. Then Once you have done that, once you know how much time to do it in, you need to know the consequence of not achieving this. So write this question down. I started with it at the very beginning of the room. What impact will it have on you, your friends, your family, your business, if you do not achieve this goal? And then every week, when you don't actually dedicate that time to achieving that goal, you are being reminded of the true purpose with which you are tackling this achievement. You have to anchor yourself in understanding what will happen in your life if you don't achieve it. Are you happy? And some people are, and that's great, to live a mediocre 2022. If you are, that's great. Do you need rest in 2022? Do you need to not be striving? That planning that you're doing might really be about wellness and self-care. Not all of this stuff is about achieving your next 7 figures. This is about what you need. And this comes back to what I said at the very beginning of the room. My goal is 100 members. Some people think it's loads. Some people think it's not enough. I don't care. It's my goal. And so if your goal is to rest and to look after yourself, or to end the year having really developed love for yourself or confidence for yourself, there are things that you can do to actually do that by planning in time. So don't think a goal which is to love myself more is unachievable. You just have to figure out, how do you measure that? And that's what we come back to. This last point before we come to opening it up to the stage is, how do you measure your success? How do you know if you need to divert your course of action, which is what we were talking about again at the start of the session? You can have a plan so that you know how to evaluate what's working and what's not working. So at which points are you going to evaluate? Rihanna started with me 6 months ago. Rihanna, can you believe that it's been 6 months?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's gone so speedily by.
Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies. So Rihanna and I have been working together for 6 months, and we had our review session. And in that, we ask the question, what's working and what's not working, so that we can, if we need to, change our course of action. And that will be a more regular thing now that we know, Rihanna and I know, that we like working with each other. I hope, Rihanna. Yeah, that's a flash for yes, folks, not a flash for no.
That's a great big yes.
Okay, I love it. So knowing when you are going to check in, because this is what I see time and time again, is setting and forgetting. Flash your mics if you set a goal and then not achieved it because you've lost your link to its purpose. Yeah, I would be flashing right now. And so you've got to know, and you've got to hold yourself to account by knowing how important it is if you don't reach this goal. What does success look like? So this is the question that I ask. What does success look like at those points where you're checking in? And that's how you plan for progress. That's how you plan to meet the goal that you've set for yourself. So planning needs to not be a whole new system and structure. It needs to be something that you already do. You need to know what the hurdles are. You need to be attached to your purpose. You need to know how much time you can realistically dedicate to what it is that you want to achieve. And you need to check in regularly with what success looks like. And here's the key: be prepared to do something different or divert if it's not working. Okay. That's my mini masterclass on planning, folks. Let's hear some stuff from the audience. Flash your mics if you've got examples of where planning has really worked for you, or where it hasn't really worked for you, or what you've taken from this from this session. Flash your mics. I might pick people unless you get involved. So I'm scrolling up and down the screen. Okay, I'm gonna pick someone. I'm gonna start with Rihanna. Rihanna, what have you learned?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, actually, I'm going to tell you something that that we talked about on. I think it was either the last checkout of the year 2021 or the very first check-in of this year 2022, and I forgot what the year it was then. And that was, what is your word of the year going to be? And I decided at that moment that my word of the year was going to be completion. And that's because I will get an exciting idea for a goal. I'll start to go down the route, and then it won't be as easy as I thought it was going to be. Or like you said before, like you lose that attachment to the purpose, to the overall purpose, or to the end bigger goal, or something like that. And I end up going off on a tangent or finding the next exciting opportunity that's come my way. So this year, my word of the year is completion. So at the beginning of every day, when I'm writing my to-do list, and at the beginning of every month, when I'm looking at my priorities, at the beginning of the week when we're setting our priorities, just all those things, I want to keep coming back to myself and saying completion, and then asking myself, is this helping me to complete one thing before I move on to the next? Because the things that I've chosen to do may not be perfect, but I will never know how they will pan out if I never stop to finish them. So that is my word of the year, a big, big takeaway from me, completion. I'm Rihanna in the red and I'm done speaking.
Yeah, very, very good. I've got a word which is gratitude. I found myself constantly striving for more and more and more. I've doubled my revenue in business every year since I started, and I feel like it's never enough. And I'm not happy to feel that way anymore. And so I want to be truly grateful for what I've created. And my word is gratitude. And so how am I actually measuring that success? How am I actually getting to measure that success? That's the question that I'm asking myself. So brilliant, Rihanna, that completion and gratitude from us as a word of the year. Anyone else here got a word of the year, being as you were so quiet with my earlier question? Mary, coming to you.
Hi everyone, a great room, Lucienne. I've got 2 words this year actually. Is more magic in my life, and personally, but I want to celebrate it a little bit more as well, because I tend to just do things and not necessarily celebrate all the things I'm doing. So I'm going to make a conscious effort to not only celebrate what I'm doing, but what people around me are doing as well. So a little bit more celebration for this year. But great, I loved all these points. And I would say one thing I've taken away so far is I used to be very good at kind of planning backwards and planning out the whole year and putting everything in my calendar and being very organized with the different things I needed and understanding how much time I had, but not necessarily overlapping that with my personal things happening as well. So, and maybe not taking enough time for things personally and actually accounting for that. So I'm just took that away right now, that I'm going to make sure I do that within my calendar, that professionally and personally, everything's all connected and I'm very clear with my vision for the year. So thank you.
I love that, Mary. Yes. And this is a big part of the coaching process with people who run their own businesses. There's a human behind the business, right? And where I do believe there needs to be separation between business finances, the way the business works and the model, and the fact that the business needs its own lifeblood in order to be able to thrive. The foundation of the business is you. You are running the business. And if you have a small team, if you have a big team, as a leader, you need to be aware of everything that's going on. Your mind and your body are not going, right, this is the business and this is me. That's not how it works. And that's why the corporate world is crashing to its knees when it comes to mindset, because it's forgotten that the people who run the organizations are human beings with families, emotions, needs, birthdays, holidays. All of that stuff is so important. So I love that you brought that up, Mary. Really, really good point. Well made. And I love having you here. Thank you so much. Flash your mics if you've got a word, folks. that you would like to share for this year, a word that you want to share for this year and what you've taken away from today. We've got 2 minutes left. We've got a shy audience. Michelle, I'm coming to you.
Bear with because I'm driving, but you're on Bluetooth. Focus is my word for this year, and not to allow things to distract me that I cannot control.
Yeah, love that. Love that you've taken that away, Michelle. Sending you big love. And I've got a message from Alison which says she's recovering from COVID, so she's got hardly any voice, but she likes to plan in bite-sized chunks. I think that's a great point. I talk about timetabling. There's a lot of my clients who, when they first come to me and I talk about a timetable and bookending your day, having a routine, and they're like, come on, I'm an adult woman. I'm like, yeah, well, let's have a look at how it works for you. And after a few months they are hooked to it. It's having a timetable where you're chunking what you're doing is really helpful. So that from Alison is really good. It helps her to focus and complete things and adapt when things change, as we've had to learn in 2021. Good point. Very well made. Holly, you were flashing. Oh, we can't hear you, Holly, unless... Okay, I'm going to come to Gael.
Oh, sorry, my connection.
No, that's okay. Holly, over to you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Sorry, my connection keeps dropping out. My word for the year is going to be action. Definitely, it helped me go forward and...
It's fallen apart at the seams, folks. It's gone to pieces, and that's because it's 2:00 and we need to end the room. But I will come to Gael. So Holly, yeah, we couldn't hear you properly, and Dahlia, we heard either some rainfall or some showering going on. So just to be aware of that. Gael, how are you doing? What's your word?
Hi, my word for 2022 is embodiment. Because I believe that, yes, the mindset is very strong, and I'm a mindset expert, but when you partner the body and the mind together, you're unstoppable. And this is what I want to be for 2022.
Oh, I love it. Unstoppable. And your word, say it again for me, please. Embodiment. I love that. I love it. Okay, fantastic work, folks. As always, we like to end on time. So thank you for joining us every single week on a Wednesday at 1:00. We are here. I am here to share with you some of the knowledge that I am learning from working at a very high level with some of the best experts when it comes to neuroscience, coaching and methodology around mindset. We tie that in with business and female empowerment, and we bring you the collective of extraordinary women. You are always welcome to join us. It's a way that I can give back to the community by showcasing your businesses and by giving some education to you as well, so that you can take it away. You can follow us at the CEW. My name is Lucienne Shakir. I've been joined by some extraordinary women today, one of which is sat to my side, Rayanna Wright, who is my community empowerment manager. She's absolutely phenomenal. She looks after our members in a way that I've never seen before. So thank you so much for all the hard work that you do, Rayanna. And thank you everyone here for showing up for yourselves, for your businesses and for your clients to live a life that you love. Have a wicked week, and I will see you all on Wednesday at 1:00, if not before. Take care. Goodbye.